Good morning, everyone. I spoke over Sean's wonderful chime. Sorry, Sean.
You're fine.
We are we're starting our service now, and we have muted everyone, but we do encourage you to use the chat function. So if you move your cursor around your screen or tap on your phone, you'll see you'll see on a little label at the bottom that says chat. And if you're on your phone, there might be some dots you need to click on in order to see that. But that will be a wonderful place for us to stay in contact and respond and connected during this service. So if you want to offer comments or appreciation or greetings, please do so. Today is a gift. This moment right here is a gift, offering itself to us, ready for our response. This day is ours. You didn't earn it. I didn't earn it. We didn't make it, yet here it is. This is how life is. And so we come together to say, wow, and thank you. And let's do what we can to have more of this life. For this hour, let us sing out in praise, granting ourselves silence, listening to the sound of our hearts beating, leaning into this gift of life, listening to where it is calling us next. My friends, we have gathered. It is good. Let us pass this blessing on. Come, let us worship together. Now, please put your greetings and where you are Zooming from in the chat box. Together, let us sing our opening hymn along with our choir.
Thank you. That was beautiful. This is Reverend Linda, and if you've been on gallery view, you can see me by switching to speaker view at this time, and I will show up. In the ebb and flow of our lives, it is so important that we take time to mark the passages that give meaning to our days. Today, we are creating a moment to welcome the newest members of this congregation. Beth?
I'm so happy as the secretary for the Board of Trustees of the UU Congregation of Charlottesville to be here today to welcome our newest members. Ever since our founding in 1943, we have collected the hundreds and hundreds of signatures in our membership book. Signatures of our members joining over the past 77 years. This membership book, kept safe at our church building, also records births, marriages, and deaths since our founding for these 7 decades. The record of our membership is a symbol of who we are as a congregation, past and present. Membership in our congregation is an act of individual affirmation, an expression of commitment to the search for truth and meaning, and a testimony to the power of this community.
Good morning. I'm Christine Gresser, and I am the co-chair of our membership committee. The decision to formalize one's membership is a simple act with deep significance. When members sign the book, we offer what our ancestors call the right hand of fellowship. In pre-COVID times, we would have asked all the new members to join us in this worship service, to come forward in the chancel, in the sanctuary, receive that hand again, and be welcomed by the congregation. Today, instead, we offer this slideshow to introduce these people who have joined UU Charlottesville in 2020. Mary Ann Gentry became a member in September 2019 after being a friend of the church for almost 5 years. Mary Ann enjoys volunteering with the food pantry. She has a plot in the church garden, and pre-COVID, she enjoyed helping to hang the art shows and helping to serve at snack and coffee hour. Now, Mary Ann is eager to join the grounds committee and participate in the outdoor work parties. Helen Ruth Wilson. Helen Wilson is 96 years old. She moved to Charlottesville in 2018 and started attending the UU Church in late summer. Helen's previous religious affiliations were in various Christian churches in Florida, where she lived for 40 years before moving to Charlottesville. Helen's hobbies are quilting and knitting. Helen lives with her son, David Stackhouse. Helen joined our congregation in November of 2019. Please notice that we do have photos for some of our new members. We have bios for some of our new members, and for some we have both. We know that this is just a brief way to get to know each other, and we look forward to getting to know each other in much deeper ways as the months and years go forward. David Stackhouse. Dave is 71 years old. He moved to Charlottesville in 2009 and started attending the UU Church after his mother, Helen Wilson, moved in with him in 2018. David's previous religious affiliation is atheist. David's hobbies are mountain biking and windsurfing. He is retired and spends a lot of his time working on bicycle advocacy and design and construction of public trails in and around Charlottesville. Catherine, Chris, and their daughter, Natalie Abbott. Chris and Catherine Abbott and their children, Natalie, who's 15, and Laurel, who's 11, have been members of UU churches since 2006. Chris's service in the Navy kept their family moving around the country to locations like Portland, Maine, Anacortes, Washington, Jacksonville, Florida, and New Orleans, Louisiana. After Chris's retirement from the Navy, they chose Charlottesville to live so they could access life in a vibrant community close to amazing natural areas. They say, as a family, we enjoy hiking, camping, learning together, cooking, and playing games. We are excited to be a part of the Charlottesville UU community. Margot and Jeremy Gill. Margot and Jeremy Gill are the parents of Bryce, Olympia, Parker, Iverson, and forever Logan Gill. They write, our family joyfully has been a part of and participants of this UU congregation for 8 years. This amazing, nurturing group of people have been a tremendous comfort and support for all of us, and especially with the death of Logan. We are grateful now to be official members. Karen Fairchild. Karen became a member of our congregation in January 2020. Karen grew up in Seattle, where her family attended the University Unitarian Church. Karen moved to Charlottesville in 2004 and was involved with our congregation's RE program with her kids, who are now in college and beyond. In her photo, Karen is pictured with her daughter, Caroline. Not pictured are Karen's son, Harrison, please forgive me, Karen's son, Harrison, who is in the Navy in Texas, and Karen's husband, Eric. Chris Wiles. Chris Wiles joined our congregation in February 2020. He is a dad of 4, David, age 17, B, age 16, Ryan, age 10, and Sarah, age 6. Chris is a 1999 graduate of UVA, and he's been a Charlottesville resident since 2005. Gretchen Beck and Gove Johnson. This photo should look familiar and unfamiliar all at the same time. Gretchen and Gove joined UU Charlottesville in February, just before the pandemic, and they were married this month in our sanctuary. This is the second marriage for both Gretchen and Gove. Gretchen worked as an artist before deciding to go to medical school. She recently retired after many years in practice. Gove was a cabinet maker with his own shop and business who said after retiring, he decided he really needed a doctor. Virginia Lavelle. Virginia reinstated her membership in our congregation in February 2020 and is active in our congregation's anti-racist parenting covenant group. She has lived in Charlottesville since 2001, and she's a mom of 2 sons, ages 13 and 3. Virginia serves as the chief of the Charlottesville Albemarle Rescue Squad and runs a treatment center for people with substance use disorders. Forrest Calland. Forrest first came to Charlottesville in 1997 to participate in a postgraduate training program at the University of Virginia and joined the faculty of the School of Medicine in 2007. His children are 3, 19, and 21 years old. Forrest's favorite hobbies include riding and restoring vintage BMW motorcycles and beautifying his property with sustainable native plants and architecture. Forrest joined our congregation in February 2020. Ivy Porpotage. Rory, Coraline, and Ivy are excited to be joining the UU Charlottesville community. Rory is in 2nd grade at Johnson Elementary, and Coraline is 2 years old. Ivy, who works from home as a technical editor, is a stalwart supporter of the Oxford comma, and she's also a passionate gardener in her spare time. Joanna Hickman. Joanna Hickman joined our congregation in August 2020. She and her husband, Charles Martin, have been friends of this church for several years. Joanna said, "After Charles's death, I decided to make it official and join the church." Joanna was the first person to sign the membership book and join our congregation after we moved into our pandemic protocols, and we are so happy to have our longtime friend, Joanna, now as an official church member. Tori Goodlow, Chris, Nora, Liam, and Sierra and Little. The Little family says, "We are Chris Little, Tori Goodlow, Nora Little, age 12, Liam Little, age 10, Sierra and Little, age 8. Of course, not to forget our 3 dogs and 1 cat. Chris is from Ireland, Tori's from Stanton, and they've both lived in Charlottesville for a long time. They joined UU Charlottesville in the spring of 2019, and they're very thankful for the big welcome they have received here. Their kids attend Charlottesville Day School and enjoy music, sports, and art. They say that they love the Virginia countryside, being with friends, and visiting their extended family in Virginia, as well as their large family in Ireland. Chris works in tech consulting, and Tori is a fitness instructor. As a family, they're keen to help make the world more just, equitable, and healthy, and they're constantly learning in this regard. This photo is from their charity lemonade stand this summer, through which they raised awareness and funds for many Charlottesville charities. Reverend Dr. Wayne Arneson. Wayne Arneson retired to Charlottesville in 2017 after a 40-year career as a UU minister, serving in 5 congregations, including 16 years as minister of this church from 1984 to 2000. Wayne is married to Reverend Kathleen Rollens, who is currently serving All Souls Church in DC. Wayne enjoys learning, teaching, and writing about UU history. Barbara Dreyfus. Although we don't have a bio from Barbara, we see her here pictured on the right with her mother, her cousin, and her cousin's husband, and we also see a selfie of her where she's sporting her political affiliations. We look forward to getting to know Barbara better over the coming months and years, and we appreciate the fun selfie. And we do want to take this moment to remind everyone, no matter who or what you're voting for, to exercise your 5th principle, right, and responsibility to vote in the upcoming election. It's such a joy to get to know some of our new members and more to come in the coming months.
I invite those of you who are members of this UU congregation to join in offering these words of welcome to your new members. The words are on the screen. I will read them and ask you to stay muted, but read along with me at home. We welcome you as new members who have joined us this year. We are grateful for your commitment. We invite you to participate as fully as you can in the life of our religious community, offering your whole selves, strengths and weaknesses both, to this tapestry we weave, and ask you to do the same for us. And I invite the new members to say these words along with me. We affirm the community we join today, its reverence for the past, its vision for the future, and its passion to live fully in the present. Let us all join together now in saying these words. We are one community. May these words and these acts of welcome serve to renew our covenant with one another.
This is Reverend Linda again. In our worshiping community this morning, we have with us first-time visitors and some people who have been attending a year or two. Some people who've been here for 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30. We even have a few people here who have been members for 40 years or more. Let us thank them right now with some applause. And there's ways you can applaud. You can do this onto the camera, or you can go down to the bottom of your screen if you're on a computer and see the thing that says reactions, and you can do clap hands or thumbs up, or even mine has like a little explosions. So let us applaud right now all those longtime members who've kept this congregation going. The congregation, all of you together, are building on the congregation that has come in the past. Both the past congregations and the present are propelling us now, all of us, into a future of who you are yet to be. The new members that we've honored this morning are a valuable part of that journey. We thank the new members for offering us a chance to listen to the hopes that they have for the future. And we thank them for adding their voices to our voices.
Oh, sorry, everybody. All right, let's try that again.
This is the sound of one voice, one spirit, one voice, the sound of one makes a choice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of voices too. The sound of me singing with you, helping each other to make it through. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices three, singing together in harmony, surrendering to the mystery. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of all of us, singing with love and the will to
On this day when we celebrate membership and also hold each other close in this beloved community, we celebrate people who have joined this congregation to listen, to add their voice, to be heard, and to help others be heard. This Sunday is also a time to renew your commitment to supporting what we value here. It's a special time in our community worship. Is the invitation for all of you to add your financial gifts to the ministry we share together. So one of the books I've been reading lately is this book called Braiding Sweetgrass. And there's some words that resonate with me always in our time of offering. And I just wanted to read just a brief clip that is the sentiment of the whole book. And it's about her relationship to plants, Robin Wall Kimmerer. In the spring, I walk across the meadow towards my medicine woods, where the plants give their gifts with unstinting generosity. It is mine not by deed, but by care. I have come here for decades to be with them, to listen, to learn, and to gather. It is mine not by deed, but by care. The plants give their gifts of medicine and knowledge, and she in turn returns the gift with her care, attention, and gratitude to create a mutually flourishing relationship.
Thank you, Haley. How is everybody? How are you doing? We started our service with the joy of welcoming new members, and we just shared with you the really sad news of losing a beloved member who so many of you remember as laughing and hugging and being a good friend. So how are we doing today? And every day this year, it seems. We are COVID isolated. The tension is rising about the upcoming election. Breathe deeply now. Take a moment. Here at UU Charlottesville, you have been doing a lot this fall. You have been handling so much. I want to make sure you know how proud and wonderful and congratulatory people feel that you were able to ordain your wonderful minister of faith development last week, the Reverend Leah Derlin Jones. That sounds good, doesn't it? And congratulations on voting on a balanced budget in a tough fiscal year, and voting to take the name Thomas Jefferson from your congregation's name. By the way, I have received so many appreciative comments from people who've been watching you this fall. People in the interfaith community in Charlottesville, but also people across the UU world. You've done this with careful and respectful listening to each other. And even when there are differing opinions, I've heard you listen to each other. So I want to offer you my congratulations on a great start to this church year. And we are beginning to figure out ways to have more and more people join in on reconnecting, on listening deeply to each other. With the COVID shutdown, it's easy to feel zoomed out, to feel isolated. So Reverend Lee and I have been thinking about ways to get families together for outdoor masked and distanced fun. And our circles in the parks last week were wonderful for those of you who participated. But I want more of you to find ways to talk with each other and to reconnect. This afternoon at 2, I'm going to be leading a session on how to listen to people by starting with what they love, not what they're worried about. Hopefully it'll help you feel better. If you didn't sign up for it earlier, you can still join in. Just send me an email at linda@uucharlottesville.org by 1:30 today, and I'll send you the link to join. We are in historic, disturbing times. These are the kinds of times that people study in school. It's like the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, the Great Depression, Germany in the 1930s, and Europe in the World Wars. We study these times and we wonder, what was it like to live through these times? And I wonder now, what will people be thinking of us 40 years from now, 100 years from now? Will the grandchildren and great-grandchildren wonder about who we voted for in 2016, 2020? Will they wonder how we survived the great pandemic? Or how we could have allowed immigrant children to be kidnapped from their parents by our government? Will they ask, as I so often ask myself, how could I have kept driving a gas-powered car when the climate change is so obvious when the West is burning and hurricanes are flooding our coasts. I've been thinking a lot about the future. It's important to listen to our history. I want you to know that I believe that. We need to listen to our history to find out what we can learn from past accomplishments and failures. And it's really crucial to listen to each other and to the voice inside, to hear what's important to us right now, what's really going on. But lately, I gotta say, I've been thinking it's even maybe more important to listen to the future, to care about the future, to imagine that future is like a person sitting here and trying to get our attention. Today, New Member Sunday, I sense that welcoming new members together is a way of working on creating the future. And I can begin to imagine more new members in the years to come. What will convince them in the future that we were listening to them right now? What is this congregation doing right now that will make the members 40 years from now say, that group of people back in 2020, they believed in us. They created a way for us. It's like they were thinking of us and listening to us even back then. How we act with one another now makes a difference to the future. In my first few months with you, I've been listening to the stories of many current and former members of this congregation. I heard from one woman who has left not only your congregation, she has made the decision to leave Unitarian Universalism, even though she was a longtime member here. Because being here in the past decade, she got the idea that UUs just argue. She had loved caring groups who listened and supported her, but now she feels like she has no home. It breaks my heart to hear her. And I wonder if people realize that when they are rude and dismissive to one another, they are hurting not only each other, but they are hurting potential future members. Potential people in the future who will be saying, I need you to be a place of support and love. I need you to be a place where I can be welcomed. And the great news is I've heard from so many others of you that you have received so much from being a member here that you're committed to being here in the good times, of course, but even through the bad times. And you're committed to handing on a loving congregation to the future. And that gives me hope. Hope that even while we are in this COVID time of physical distancing, we can practice the difficult but important art of compassion and listening in small groups, in coffee hours, in circles we join. Practice not arguing with each other, not insisting we're smart or we're right and everybody else is not as smart or wrong. Practice imagining the legacy we are leaving to the future. Have the imaginations and humility to see that we are not the end of creation. This church is not just for us in the here and now. Others are going to be born. Others will need a community of faith to welcome them in times of trouble. They will long to help our world realize the dream of beloved community. So listen to those people in the future now. I hear them saying to us, don't let us down by the mess you're making or by the mess you're not cleaning up. Don't make us feel that you didn't love us. Don't be selfish. Don't be short-sighted. Remember, we're coming. Fellow citizens of this world in 2020, how can we live our lives to keep the best of our dreams possible for those who are coming after us? Let me suggest that we act as if we are listening to the future's pleas, and that we speak as if everyone in the future is listening to us. Treat your neighbor now as if your great-grandchildren are there listening and watching you. I love the musical Into the Woods and this song that comes. Careful the things you say, children will listen. Careful the things you do, children will see and learn. Careful the spell you cast, not just on children. Sometimes the spell may last past what you can see. I knew the Reverend Judy Wells pretty well over the years. She was your intern student minister back in the mid-1990s. Leah was really close to her. Wayne was her supervisor. Judy died this fall. A story about her appeared in the New York Times and was featured on a TV news story in Portland, Oregon, where she lived. Judy spent this summer battling a rare cancer, and she had two goals. One was to see her 77th birthday, and she made that on September 4th. And the second was to cast her vote for Mr. Biden, even if she wouldn't be alive to see the outcome. Her mail-in ballot was expected to arrive on October 14th. She thought she could make it till then. But by September 24th, she changed her mind. She decided she had to enter hospice care while she was still strong enough. She reasoned that Biden would win Oregon even if she couldn't live long enough to vote for him, so she decided to turn her attention to Pennsylvania, a state where the race is tighter, and she had served there as a minister for many years. On September 28th this fall, she wrote 15 letters to registered voters in Pennsylvania. She said, "I told them I'm dying, that this is the most important election ever, that I can't imagine not voting, and would they please exercise their right to vote because they're alive." She told people, "I am not afraid to play the death card. If that's going to impress somebody into voting, that would be great." Just a few hours after sealing the letters, surrounded by family members, she died. Judy was listening to the future. She cared so much about the future, about how this election would affect the next generation. She spent her last hours encouraging people to vote. Judy was like so many people we admire, using her life, her time to think about the future, listening to what the future is saying to us. The future is saying, care about us, create communities of love, and do what it takes to create a world with justice, compassion, peace, a livable climate, a place that gives all creation a chance. You know, we humans have a transcendent dimension, an awareness that life goes on after we're gone, and that we can do things that will matter to the future. Voting is one of those things. And remembering the dreams. This week, Joe Biden sent out a tweet I've been thinking about a lot. He wrote, "America was an idea. We've never lived up to it, but we've never walked away from it. Human kindness, justice, and equity. It's been an idea, a dream from ancient times. Our ancestors struggled with it, and we do now. But let us remember not to give up on it, not give up, and listen to the future. And that is our pathway forward. May our hearts be in holy places as we listen to one another, to our past, to the present, and to the future that's calling us all. Let us sing now about our hearts." Oh, may our hearts be in a holy place. The service is coming to an end, but we know it's only the beginning of our future. As we extinguish our chalice flames now, take the light of love and commitment into your heart and shine your love to all you meet. And remember, listen to those who whisper their hopes and dreams for the future. New friends, children, strangers, and listen for the songs of tomorrow, for that is where our pathway leads. Let the light of our faith guide us on its way. Amen. And Scott, play us some music now for a joyful closing to our worship.